Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in! Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we are talking about the spell Summon Greater Demon. Now, this is a non-template summon spell. It is coming from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, so it's not a Tasha's one. Tasha had all these summon spells, 3rd and 4th level, that we've gone over, and they all had like a template. Summon Shadow Spawn, summon Undead, summon Elemental, summon Construct. This is not that. This is from an earlier book, and it doesn't have a template. So we are giving this a C. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. All right, there's two main reasons that I'm giving this a C. Reason number one, components. Verbal, somatic, and material components. The material component isn't necessarily worthless, but it's not going to cost you gold, but it is a vial of blood from a humanoid killed within the past 24 hours, which means you basically have to be dragging some poor schmo around every time you want to cast this spell, and the poor schmo has to be killed and give up some blood. Can't just have the blood. You have to have blood from something that was killed. Not going to be super popular with a lot of your party members if you're using this spell because of what you have to do. That's a pretty evil thing to do. Not a nice thing to do. And, yep, I just don't see it. I don't see it as a very player-friendly spell. Now, for a DM, this is a great spell for a wizard or a warlock because it's only available for wizards and warlocks, as you see right there below under the spell tags. So, a big bad evil kind of demony, necromancery wizard or warlock could easily use this spell. Is this one of the best 4th level spells for them? Probably not. But it is, you can upcast this and get something pretty nasty, and you could let it loose. So, it is a 4th level spell that has 1 action, range of 60 feet. It has a duration of 1 hour. It is a concentration spell, and man, do you want to concentrate on this. You utter foul words, you summon 1 demon, 1. From the Chaos of the Abyss, you choose the demon's type, which must be one of challenge rating 5 or lower. They give you a Shadow Demon or a Baral Gura, but you can upcast this, and every time you upcast it, you get to increase the challenge rating by 1. So if you were to cast this as a 5th level spell, you would get a challenge rating of 6 or lower. 6th level spell is 7, all the way up to 9th level, which would be a 10. And we're going to look at some of those choices. So it appears in an unoccupied space within range. 60 feet is a pretty good range. It disappears if it drops to 0 hit points. You roll initiative. It has its own turn when you summon it. And on each of your turns thereafter, you can give it a verbal command, telling it what it must do. If you issue no command, it spends its turn attacking any creature within reach that has attacked it. Now, here's reason number 2 why we're giving this a C, because it's a bit risky for a player. And the grade that I'm giving this is primarily based off of players' use, not DM's use. If I were judging this strictly on DM's use, I would probably give this spell a B. If I were the big bad guy or the DM playing the big bad guy. But for player use, I'm giving it a C. So, at the end of each of the demon's turns, it makes a charisma saving throw. The demon has a disadvantage on this saving throw if you say its true name, which could be a whole adventure in itself. On a failed save, the demon continues to obey you. On a successful save, however, your control of the demon ends for the rest of the duration, and the demon spends its turns pursuing and attacking the nearest non-demons to the best of its ability. So if you put it next to a non-demon and it's attacking it, it's going to keep attacking it until that thing is dead, and then it's going to turn, and it could turn on you pretty badly. If you stop concentrating on the spell for any reason, including getting hit, Before it reaches its full duration, an uncontrolled demon doesn't disappear for 1 to 6 rounds if it still has hit points. So again, you're going to have to contend with an uncontrolled demon. So as part of casting the spell, you can form a circle on the ground with the blood that you used as a material component. The circle is large enough to encompass your space. While the spell lasts, the summoned demon can't cross the circle or harm it, and it can't target anyone within it. Using the material component in this manner consumes it when the spell ends. So, so we got the vial. That's a bad thing, and we've got the controllability of the demon, if that's a word. It's a word I'm using. The ability to control the demon. It gets a saving throw every single turn, and if you lose concentration, if either one of those things happen, successful save or lose concentration, you've got an uncontrollable demon for a little while to a long while. Now, let's talk about what demons we can summon. And we're going to start with challenge rating 5s. So we've got, they said Shadow Demon, which a Shadow Demon has, it's incorporeal movement, and it's got some claw attacks, and it's got all the normal demon resistances and immunities and things. It's okay. A Baralgura has some resistances and immunities, but it's got spells. So it's got Entangle once a day, which is a pretty good spell. That's a great spell. Phantasmal Force, which is okay. Twice per day it can go invisible. That's pretty good. Disguise Self, that's okay. Reckless, at the start of the turn, it gains advantage on all melee weapon attack rolls it makes during the turn, but attack. So it's got a barbarian ability, and then it gets 3 attacks: 1 bite and 2 fists. And if it's reckless, then it's probably going to hit. It's got a +7 to hit, which isn't too bad. If you're reckless and you're rolling 2 20s and you take in the best of the two, you're going to probably on average get around, I think, a 13 to 15. So, and it'll have a heightened chance to crit because of that. So that's not too bad. We've got this Tanaruk, which is from Volo's Guide, and it's a legacy. There's not a replacement for it. I don't know why, but it's like a demonic orc. So it's got aggressive. It can move as a bonus action, and it's got 1 bite and 1 with its greatsword, which is okay. It's just okay. We've got a cat. So if we upcast it now, we've got a Chasm Demon who does have a drone ability. Now, the drone ability has a DC 12 Constitution saving throw, but it is unconscious if it fails. So there is that. And it's got this Proboscis that reduces the target's maximum hit points. That's not too bad. So if we keep going up, we've got a Varrock, which has Spores and a Stunning Screech. Again, it's a DC 14 Constitution saving throw. That's not fantastic. And it's got its Spores. We've got a Armonite, which was not replaced at challenge rating 7. No spells, but it's got 3 attacks. It's got a Lightning Lance. That's pretty good. Does 68 damage. We've got a Dragloth, which wasn't replaced, and a Marazi. So the Dragloth has Confusion once a day. At Will Darkness, that's good. Fairy Fire, that's good. The Marazi doesn't have spells. Can assume a form. It can raise ghouls. And if we cast this at 7th level, we get a Hezru, which doesn't have spells, but it's got Stench. We get a Shusuva this is like a Gnoll hyena type of demon. It's got Rampage. It's got 2 attacks. It's got a Tail Stinger. We've got the Glabrezu if you cast this at 8th level. This one's got spells, and it's got Confusion, Fly, and Power Word Stun. And Power Word Stun affects anything that has 150 hit points or less. That's not bad. So these are the types of demons that you should be concentrating on, because you have to concentrate on this spell and you won't be casting other spells. If you could bring this thing in and it stuns someone, then they get stunned, and then they have to start making saving throws after that. The save it's got to make is a 16, which is not great. It can cast Fly, which means it can cast Fly on you. Again, it can cast Confusion, which is a great spell. And that's a DC 16 Wisdom save. That's not bad. And it can cast Dispel Magic at will. That's pretty massive. And it has a proficiency bonus, or it's got a Constitution check. It's what does it say here? Intelligence. It's got a +4, so that's not too bad for its ability check. It's got Detect Magic and it's got Darkness. And if we are going to cast this as a 9th level spell, we get a Yoklol. And it also has spells. It's got Detect Thoughts, not bad. Web at will, which is awesome. And then at once per day, it has a Dominate Person. Now, I don't know why this thing has a DC of 16 and this thing has a DC of 14. And it's because of this right here. And, you know, these are one of the things I don't like about what they've done with D&D Monsters. The stats are so low for, you know, its primary stuff. So, but it does have them. The Glabrezu can also, that's the Summoner variant. I mean, you could summon the Summoner variant who summons another demon that's not under your control, which kind of sucks. And the Yoklo, there's a Summoner version as well. It can turn into Mist form. It has a Spider form. It does quite a bit of damage with its poison. And that's not, there's no save for that. So that's just some of the choices that you get. But this is more of a DM spell, not so much a player spell. So, all right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.